Hello Wargames, it's me Callum from Tabletop Banter, and in today's video we're going to talk about consolidating your hobby. So, consolidating your hobby, I wanted to talk a little bit about it because it's a brand new year, which means a new start for a lot of hobbyists and a new beginning for a lot of hobbyists. I myself started in March, about 2 years ago, and it's not been the same since. Obviously, my wallet has remained thoroughly empty, and my table has become slightly less and less grey every single time I add a unit onto it. But I wanted to talk about consolidating your hobby. So people who have been hobbying for years and years will probably have a time when they are like, oh my god, look at all these things I've bought, half-finished projects, you know, stuff I'm never going to paint, stuff I'm never going to play with, and they've gone, right, let's just have a little tidy up. Now, I won't say I've completely reached that point yet, because I've only been going for a couple of years. I don't have all that much in terms of, well, I mean, I have enough according to everyone else, not to myself, obviously. But I'm at this period where I'm kind of in the halfway stage of thinking maybe I should just try and organise myself a little better in the hobby. And I wanted to convey some ideas to you. So the big problem I have as a hobbyist is I love the hobby. And plain and simple, that means that I often start lots of projects. Now, the problem with starting projects is I don't tend to finish them, because what I do is I set small project goals. For example, okay, my Guard, or my Eldar, that's a perfect example. Farseer, 10 Guardians, Wave Serpent, done. They were all painted up, really enjoyed that. That's only like 350 points? Which is utterly useless in a game of 40k. And I've got 5 Dire Avengers and a Wraith Lord, but I mean, he's the old metal one. And again, small projects added on, right? I'm at about 500 to 750 points of Eldar now, because I've got Eldrad as well. But what use is that in a regular 40k environment? It bears very little in terms of an actual army. Now, I've got 3 or 4 of those kind of things kicking around at the moment in terms of Guard and Eldar. I've got small collections of Age of Sigmar stuff, and I've decided that I need to look at the hobby in a different way. I need to attack the hobby in a different way. So what I decided to do, after receiving Betrayal at Calth over Christmas, was to say, right, Word Bearers, okay, they're my project until I have a certain goal finished. And now that goal for me is a playable 2,000 point list. For that, I still need to buy 1 more unit, but I've got plenty to be working on. I can work on those, and when I get the funds for the next unit, I buy the unit and I'm away. So, it's the Betrayal at Calth box, it's 3 of these, and a custom character. That's pretty much all there is to it. They're all veteran tactical squads taking the pride of the Legion Rite of War. For any 30k players out there, I mean, I think it's a good way to start up, because you get cool units that have loads of attacks, plenty of firepower, and it's relatively inexpensive and fairly customizable. Now, obviously, these little boxes are the only thing that you don't get in Calth, and I've had to pick up 2 as I already had one. I absolutely love the Mark 1 Rhinos, so I've picked up some old second-hand ones and basically repainted them. But my point about that is, I've now got this army that I'm painting up. Currently working on this Contemptor, for example, just waiting for its basing to dry. And the beauty is, because I'm painting up this army, when it's finished, I'll have a playable army. So before, I was doing a small project of Eldar, and it was done, and then I was on to the next thing, and it was another small project. And what was happening was I was getting 3 or 4 small projects that couldn't all be fielded together or couldn't all be used in the same game system. And I was struggling. I was ending up with this situation where, I mean, basically, I only had 1 army despite having 4. So I decided enough's enough, time to rework how I do it. So now it's big projects and building up the projects whilst I paint it. For example, okay, here's my best example for you all. I'm painting up my Word Bearers right now. I'm really enjoying it. It's a different colour. It's a different everything. It's going to be at 2,000 points to begin with a view to getting Lore Guard to take them to about 2,500. And then I'm probably going to stop. I'm probably going to say, look, 2,500, that's enough. I've got a cool army. They're not particularly strong, but I have an army. At least I've got something there to play with. And it takes me all the way from like 1,500 to 2,500, which is kind of the regular range of 40k games. I am hoping to really continue painting. I've done a unit and a rhino. I'm working on this Contemptor. I've got a couple of cool characters I want to do as well. So I've got plenty to be getting on with, and I'm really enjoying it. And at the end of it, I've got a playable army. Now, when they're done, or whilst I'm doing them, what I'm actually also doing is sourcing the parts for my Dark Angels. You know, a reinvigoration of my Dark Angels. So, although this is my main hobby goal right now, and I'm painting the word bearers, in my mind, I'm already like, next project on the list is going to be my Dark Angels. Now, this is because this is a 30k army. Some people are a bit funny about that. Me, personally, if it looks cool, you put it on the table, I don't really care. But some people are like, oh, you can't use 30k and 40k, even though they're off the same rulebook. Just the army composition is different. So, with that in mind, I'm working on Dark Angels next. Now, what do I have at the moment? Well, I've got the Dark Vengeance kit. So that was something else I managed to pick up over Christmas. You know, the 5 Terminators. I'm not actually got all 3 bikers because I'm doing something a little bit different with those. But I've converted up a Librarian on a bike. I've also got the Betrayal at Calth Praetor, who's going to be my company master, my Deathwing company master. And I've also got 10 Tacticals, one of whom has a grav cannon, one of whom has a plasma gun, and then the sergeant's just got a bolter. Now, that is not enough. I've also got a chaplain with a jump bag. Now, that's not enough to have an actual army. So what I'm doing whilst I'm painting up the word bearers is thinking ahead. I'm thinking, what do I need next to have a 2,000 point, just as an example, 2,000 point playable Dark Angels army? Now, I really want to specialise in Deathwing. I think their fluff is so much cooler. I know they're pretty crap in the game, but their fluff is so cool. So I need to think, how many Terminators do I need to buy? If I can get those, put them together, stick them on bases, you know, as I'm painting the word bearers. And what I'll end up with is an army I can play, and then I'm painting another one. And I'll have this situation where I can actually play games and paint at the same time instead of painting to play a game. And I'm hoping that really helps with my hobby consolidation. Now, obviously, I've got stuff that is in that state of small armies. Now, whether I sell it off or choose to have it as a starting platform for future projects, I don't know yet. There are a couple of things I am tempted just to say, do you know what, let's sell it and start afresh, particularly my Guard, not because I don't like how I've done them, but because I want to do an entirely different theme, and I can't achieve that with the things I've got now, and it will just have these ones I've got now sitting around doing nothing. So we'll see how that goes. These are things that are just being processed while I'm actually hobbying on my word bearers. So I just thought I'd put this video out there, see if you guys have any conflicting opinions, because I know a lot of people prefer to do small, 1 unit at a time rather than paint an army, but I'm feeling at the moment the way for me to do it is painting an army. So I would like to hear your thoughts. If you could leave those in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a like. With the new YouTube algorithm system, it's all about watch time and likes and stuff, so that would go a long way in helping the channel grow. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you ever so much for being subscribers and stuff. I mean, that means an awful lot to me, and it keeps me wanting to do things like this and putting out videos just of my thoughts. So cool, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Don't forget, have fun.